Thank you for staying with us. The embattled former Kogi State Governor YAHAYA Bello has denied the payment of his children's school fees with monies from the coffers of the state government. According to the press release signed by his media officer, Michael Uhiare, the former governor accused the chairman of the Economic Crime and Financial Commission, EFCC, Olanikpekun Olukoyede, of trying to convict him by all means in the court of public opinion, rather than in the law court. This follows the allegations of withdrawal of funds from the state government to pay his children's school fees in advance by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. In response to this, his media spokesperson clarified that the former governor wouldn't go through the back door for justice, but rather follow due processes of the law, and no amount of blackmail by the EFCC can intimidate him. Joining us in the studio is a lawyer and social development advocate, Olutubosun Oshifowora. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, talk to us what you know, how you make this whole matter, what you understand of what's going on between the EFCC, the former governor of Kogi State, and even the courts as it is. The former governor is saying that EFCC is trying to blackmail him to submit himself and all of it, and also saying that he did not take these monies from the coffers of government, even though the school has returned the money to the EFCC. They said that the EFCC requested that they return it, and they did, according to law. But let's get your interpretation of everything going on.
All right. Personally, I feel ashamed for the governor, and it's a recurring decimal. Most times you find it that people go into governance here with all kinds of promises, and at the end of the day, they don't fulfill any of the promises.
Right.
And then they end up putting their hands in the till and taking what doesn't belong to them, and they take what belongs to what's the commonwealth of the people. That's what they take away. And then I have seen up until 3 a.m. this morning, I was in a back and forth with a friend of mine show, and you know, he was blaming the EFCC that every time a governor leaves, you know, they come up with all kinds of allegations, and then after a while it fizzles out, and he was citing examples of Okorocha and a few other people, you know, that have been let off the hook. And not really let off the hook, but he said, I mean, the whole frenzy just fizzled out and everything. I said, well, that one work that I don't envy right now is the job of both the head of the EFCC and all the people working with him, because they work under a strained environment, under a volatile situation. And if you see the interview, granted, that was viral last week, the man was actually frustrated. That was why. It's not as if he doesn't know how to go to court. Of course, they've been to court, and he had to air his frustration that he's tried everything to make sure that even gives this man a soft landing. But at the end of the day, we've seen all kinds of back and forth. I mean, the man has come out to say he's being blackmailed. He even went to court to try and, you know, file for contempt against the EFCC boss and everything. So fighting corruption in this country, it's very tough. It's a tall order, and the only thing is that those saddled with the responsibility should not give up, because it's tough. Corruption will fight back with everything it's got, and that's what's playing out here. I mean, you can imagine suing the EFCC and trying to go technical with the law and all that. The fact is this: nobody is arresting anybody. Just come and explain what you have done.
Why is that difficult?
I don't know. I cannot explain it. And what is more annoying, or what is sad for me, is the fact that there are people actually coming out to side with this kind of character. That, for me, shows that we're not ready to move as a nation.
Really?
Yeah, there are a lot of people siding with them, castigating the EFCC. And I'm like, wow. And then citing funny examples. MI6 is not like this. I say, if you know, I go to EFCC. I do. Funny enough, I even represent clients there now, and I see what these people go through. I see the conditions under which they work. I've been to a few countries. I try to look at how the anti-corruption agencies work. I try to just go, for my own knowledge and curiosity. And I see, if I compare what we have here, it's a far cry. Sometimes I wonder how the police and all these agencies actually get convictions because they work under a very terrible environment. They work on a very low budget. Yet they still come out and get, you saw the man reading out that they've been able to recover so much funds for victims and everything. And then some people still sit because you have been paid to support this person. No, the country is not going to move forward like that. We will complain and explain tire. Like an artist said, that nothing will happen. But if we really want to move forward as a nation, I feel, I was coming this morning and I was thinking, I say, you see this immunity clause that they give governors? Yeah. It should come with a twin seed, that once you're done with your immunity, though it ends, but then you should come straight and explain what you have done with the funds, with the commonwealth of the people.
Right.
Because invited or uninvited, there should be something that compels you, come and explain, come and show stewardship.
Yeah.
They declare their asset before they came in.
It's not about your asset.
After office, what did you do with the commonwealth of the people as it is?
Because, sorry, let me quickly add this. This same Kogi, it's public knowledge. There was a time civil servants were not paid for 13 months.
Yes.
It was there, I think, before his second term. I didn't know why and how he got in. I don't know how they view elections there, but that's their own cup of coffee. But now the thing is this. You didn't pay some people for 13 months. So have you ever wondered how their own kids went to school, but you're paying in advance for your own children?
Well, he says, well, he claims it's not the state government's money, that he did not get that money from the coffers of government.
No, I'm talking about the fact that the people you didn't pay for 13 months, you think they can pay in advance for food? Come on.
And how much do they even need?
Exactly.
Right.
Between YAHAYA BELLO and the EFCC, we don't exactly know who is, saying the truth. Because the EFCC said that they invited him, and then YAHAYA BELLO said he didn't get any invite. In fact, the chairman of the EFCC said he could use his own, entrance, come to him, and then they have a judge, or instead of this war we are getting to see in the media. So, do we exactly know who is, telling the truth? Does it look like there is more to this than meets the eye?
Well, I don't know if there's more to it. Some people have read some political, dimensions to the thing, and they've said all kinds of things, but we're not privy to it. But the fact is that even if there was no invite, let's assuming but not conceding that YAHAYA BELLO was right, that he wasn't invited. The man has come on air. He has said, we tried to invite you. We are still inviting you. I mean, like him or not, we were in the same place when former governor of Fayose, he even wore a T-shirt, EFCC, I'm here. At the end of the day, we saw what happened. He's just a character, but that's what, he's a governor, just like you. He was an ex-governor. And he went, explained himself, he was charged to court. I think his case is still ongoing. Yeah. So whatever it is, then you saw all the EFCC said. But the fact is this, YAHAYA BELLO should, for the sake of the state and his name, he should just honor the invite. In fact, let's say there was no invite. He should just, okay, fine. Let's put all these controversies aside. Let me go. Because the man said, he said they should come to his village. Come on. That right. I want to believe the man because he spoke in his honor. And he spoke in his capacity as the EFCC chair. Now, so he wouldn't come on air. He said it that there are cameras before me. And that I'm not lying. That he said, who will come to your village?
In fact, those are some things you wouldn't necessarily divulge. But because you're under pressure,
the man was frustrated.
You're under pressure, frustration. You just need to say some things for people to understand that.
Then another thing you see is people will tell you they come after governors and nothing happens. We have a very, very volatile system that doesn't really encourage fighting corruption. And let's be real here.
Really?
Yes. Somebody said in the course of my argument, on the platform, somebody said there's been governors that it's a routine, that there's been governors that have been arraigned and nothing came out of it. I now cited 3 examples that we've had convictions of Jolly Nyame and the Jos the former governor of,
No, not
of Plateau State.
Plateau State, yes, I can't remember.
I'm trying to remember. He became a senator at some point. But anyway, I'll remember in the course of the thing. So anyway, so then we also we had Odius or Kalu, you know, like that, which was upturned eventually. But what happened to Inyame and the other man was that the government came at some point and allowed them to go, give them state pardon.
Yes.
You cannot work. You know what it is to prosecute someone up to Supreme Court? Years of evidence, years of effort and everything. Then in 1, 2, 3 years of serving sentence,
give them state pardon.
Then they were given state pardon. That will kill your morale. That sends a wrong signal to fighting corruption or any form of anti-corruption campaign. Now, so that's why I said I don't envy the man, because how they get the strength to wake up every morning and go and do the same thing that the system keeps frustrating them to do. I don't know where they get the nerve.
He even says he's going to quit
extra
office
patriotic.
If you know they are unable to try YAHAYA Bello as it is. So perhaps still out of frustration, he's saying all of these things to talk about the lengths they are willing to go to addressing this matter and bringing the former governor to book as it is. But let's talk about the courts, the role of the courts in this whole matter. Cases here and there, seemingly not allowing the EFCC, try him as it is, because that's another side of the conversation that some persons are also talking about.
Well, yes, we will definitely look at that. Now, under our laws, we have fundamental rights. If you look at Section 36 up to 42, even 45, it says a man is assumed innocent until proven guilty. Yeah. So whatever allegations the EFCC brought against YAHAYA Bello is still in the realm of speculation, and we cannot really convict him on that. Some of us have gone very emotional about it because we know the pattern, we see these things, and we recall what happened under his tenure, the 8 years he spent in the state. Not many visible developments happened there. So, and even if you can actually look at how much money came into the coffers of the state over time, vis-a-vis the amount of development in the state. So that even if you don't have the facts, you could put those two together and, make something out of it. That's one. But as far as it is innocent until proven guilty. That's one. The second part of the Constitution, under the fundamental rights laws of our nation, it says that you cannot just go and, everybody is entitled to his own freedom, except pursuant to, sentence, conviction and, court order and what have you. So for now, he's a free man. There's no order restraining him. There's no order compelling him to come to the EFCC. So that also works in his favor. As for the funds that was returned by the school, I think that is a brilliant one and is a fantastic one from a part of the school. In fact, someone made a joke that it's a school that has good financial standing. That if it's all the schools that just pay directly from what you pay, it might be a tall order, getting the funds back. But they said they don't want any troubles. They know this thing is under investigation, and they've returned that. So eventually, if they found that the money has nothing to do with the state coffers, then definitely. So that's a plus for the school, and I really, really applaud them. So as for YAHAYA Bello now, getting a restraining order from being prosecuted, it's becoming a pattern in Nigeria now. Once you're done in office, they will come for you. Then the next thing you go and get an order restraining agencies, law enforcement agencies from prosecuting you, from inviting you. And I'm like, if you don't have anything to hide, why are you getting such an order? In fact, we've had in some cases, there's a particular case in Nigeria where someone got a perpetual restraining order where you cannot do anything for the rest of his life. Right. So if you want to fight corruption in the system, I don't think such orders should be granted by the courts.
So the courts are complicit in we're not being able to fight corruption. Is that what you're saying? I was talking about the complicity of the courts in our fight against corruption as it is? Because where do you get all of these injunctions or restraining orders, rather? It's from the courts. So how then do we really go through matters of corruption or deal with it if you are getting restraining orders?
All right, now this is how it works. You see, the law is designed in such a way that it's better for 99 criminals to go free than to have one innocent person convicted wrongly. That's the principle. Now, so that's why you find it's not like the laws are porous. So what people do is they ride on such technicalities because your fundamental rights are guaranteed under the law. So what people do, or what most people do in this circumstance, is to come under such provisions of the Constitution. The Constitution guarantees your freedom of movement, that you're innocent before being proven guilty. So that's where people hide, and people just explore those and exploit those areas of law. That's where you come. So the court has no choice than to grant. I mean, if you say that then I need to say this as a caution, because there are instances where you find that multiple agencies actually go after a particular person. Then you wonder, where's fair hearing? Why are you hounding this person? Where's the dignity of this person as enshrined under the Constitution? So when people like that go, because if you decide to withdraw such provisions of the law, you will create chaos for people who are innocent. It's unfortunate that, people that we presume guilty actually exploit this aspect of the law, but it's fine for the sanctity of the law and the protection of the society. In the long run, the laws will still catch up with the person. What you get are temporary orders stopping these agencies from prosecuting you. In the meantime, you cannot run forever. At some point, the arm of the law, it may grind slowly, but it will definitely catch up with the person. Now, so what you now do with it, where I have a problem is issues where state pardons are given to people that squandered. I mean, they've gone through the courts, they've been convicted for, messing up with the finances of the state, and then somebody comes from nowhere because of partisanship or some form of affiliation, political affiliation, you now grant them state pardon. That is where it is down. But the courts are not really complicit. The courts are doing their job. Fine, you may say I'm holding brief with the court, but that's just the position of the law. These rights are guaranteed under the law. And then, but there is no law that stops you from being investigated or being prosecuted. It might be temporary based on what you have put before the law. That fine. Some things are not right at this moment. I'm trying to put myself in order, stop those people from hounding me. The court will grant you that, but it will not be perpetual.
Okay. Let's talk about the school, at least for a moment. The school has actually made a refund. Do you think the school acted rightly? Because, YAHAYA Bello said this money didn't come from the government's coffers. It's my money. And then they said that the school actually, or do you think it also stands in contempt of the court? Because this is a transaction between the school and YAHAYA Bello. The money has nothing to do with the state government. And there was a substantive order asking the school not to pay to a third party, which they've actually paid to the EFCC. And that might lead to issues between YAHAYA Bello and YAHAYA Bello's family and the school. And that's one. The second one is, do you feel like the school is trying to, launder its image, saying that, no, I'm not, partisan, I'm not complicit, in what is going on? And why should a school in Nigeria be, charging in dollars? I think we've been talking about, dollarization. All
right, we'll take the questions one by one.
Yeah.
As for getting an order stopping the school from giving the money to a third party, that will lead to a civil suit between YAHAYA Bello's family or whoever he claims paid the school on behalf of the children and the school. So I think that settles it, even if they don't settle within themselves. So that's one. Then, but the school has acted very in a mature way, as far as I'm concerned, and they have, beyond laundering their image, I'm impressed, very impressed, because what they said is that this fund is subject of investigation.
Right.
Let's just put it aside. Leave it to those people. If eventually it's found that there's nothing wrong with the funds. The EFCC will refund. I can tell you for free here that I've had instances where the EFCC actually refunded money to clients, my clients. I've had it about 3 times. I had a client who money was seized abroad. They sent it to the EFCC and we went and collected. So the money is safe. Once the investigation is over, you can rest assured the money is safe. So we've answered the first question about the school. Now, charging in dollars. I think last week we were here and we talked about, the Chinese supermarket that they were charging in yen and all that. By the provisions of our laws governing commercial transactions, you're to deal in naira. Now, but that's the law. But if you now decide to deal otherwise, you're somewhat in contravention. I'm not going to mince word on that. But it's a private arrangement between the school and those who have decided to pay. But normally, if you pay, what is supposed to be is that you're to pay in naira. Dollar is not our currency. So that will be between the government
and the school.
And the person paying. And the person paying, honoring, that request to pay.
Because the person should understand what the law says.
You're also, perpetrating a crime.
Yes.
Right. You finally agreed.
Because I have a duty to speak the truth.
Absolutely.
And that's it. Because seriously, that's not the way it is. It's a contravention.
Okay. Now, as it is, we do not know the direction things will go, even though former Governor Otom has come out to tell YAHAYA Bello, just come out and answer the EFCC's call as it is. There are others who have also spoken in that direction, that he should just honor EFCC's invitation. We do not know if he will eventually honor. But from your perspective of things, because you have had cases that you've handled with the EFCC, how do you see things eventually going at the end of the day? Even though the EFCC chair said he would leave office if
I think he just got emotional with that, but he's doing a fantastic job, and he's working under serious condition, but hostile condition. But I mean, he should be applauded, and same for not just him, but the entire team, the whole commission. They're doing a great job, and they're saving the face of this country, So, but the fact is this: what I've seen play out over time is eventually he will go. I'm just surprised because YAHAYA used to pride himself as a white lion, and when you say lion, chicken out. So
and somebody said, why did white lion become a timid lion?
I mean, so somebody actually referred to that this is acting like a mouse. It's a mouse that runs, no disrespect, disrespect to his person. But the fact is this, I expect that he comes out. I mean, he's a known figure, and he's fearless. And let him just come and explain. I mean, for the sake of, I don't believe in playing to the gallery or trying to impress the public, no. If your name has been enmeshed in some controversy, I mean, it's just common sense to come and clear yourself, and also for posterity and also for the state. I mean, this is some people accusing you, then you keep going through, some, what do you call it now, soft selves, social media news, and trying to launder your image. Is not like that. No. Just go there, tell your own side of the story, and then you walk away. And I think the man has promised soft landing. And I don't think, if the worst that will happen with EFCC, even before you're charged, they will give you whatever it is. You will first do, this is being called for investigation, not even called for prosecution. So come and explain yourself, come and give your own statement and all that. It will be released on bail based on the number. He could even be given he's not running anywhere. He's a known figure. He's a big man. And an ex-governor, come on. So there's no much issue there. I think what he has said, or what the EFCC chair said, which I feel is his problem, is the fact that he said his political traducers will laugh at him and all that.
I mean, the story is out there. They are already laughing. And the way he's going about it is making them laugh.
He made it more, he made it more dramatic, and I didn't expect that from a lion. No.
And you just had to put that in, but our time is up. Unfortunately, we have to wrap up this conversation, but we must thank you, lawyer, social development advocate, Olutubosun Oshifowara, for your time on the program.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning. Now, to our